Hello racing fans and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best, bet with WSB, a leader in the fixed odds betting market and number one in the anti-post betting market. What's happening this weekend? Local racing. It is a doubleheader on Saturday. It's Turfentine alongside Kenilworth, and then we move over to Scottsville on Sunday. So lots to look forward to on the local betting menu, and all the action will be up on the World Sports Betting menu as well. And this show, well, we're going to have 4 horses to follow over the weekend, and I've picked out 2 horses at Turfentine, 1 at Kenilworth and 1 at Scottsville. So away we go with those 4 horses for this weekend. I trust everybody is well, and hopefully it can turn out to be a wonderful and profitable weekend's racing. We'll begin in race number 3 at Turfentine, and this is an open handicap, a merit rated 95 for 3-year-olds, so restricted to the 3-year-olds over 1800 meters. And I'm going with the horse that's now starting to capture the imagination. His name is Deez. He's 3 from 3, the son of Soft Falling Rain, trained by Fabian Habib, and his regular jockey up in Gavin Larena. When you have a look at his career thus far, he was strongly fancied on debut. There was plenty of support for him over 1400 meters, which he won well. Then raced in a novice handicap, which was over 1600 meters, and that way he was impressive because he won by over 4 lengths. And next time out, well, he raced over 1800 meters. He was stretched over the distance, and that was in C division class. And I would say arguably his best performance of his career thus far, because that day he made it look very, very easy. And after that run, well, he's been given 28 days since that last start, and this race has come along. And I'm just having a look at the form lines that he represents. It's very encouraging that they've been winners from all of his form lines. And his last start, of course, a horse called Juan Carlos has come out to win in apprentice handicap. So that's looking good. And then you try to analyze his merit rating. He's been given a rating of 95 after those 3 wins. And he does top the ratings here. So he'll be giving the entire field weight, which will be a true test of his ability against his generation. But personally, I think he's going to achieve much higher than this rating of 95, and he's got bigger things to come during the course of the season. I think this will be, the first hurdle to maybe him gaining a few points in the ratings, and of course having a campaign in the feature races to come during the rest of the season. I have no doubt that he needs to win, and win this well, for his stable to think about where they're going to aim him for the feature races to come for the balance of the season, because he's an exciting prospect on what he's shown to date, winning those 3 from 3. The 1800 meter trip he showed last time out that he absolutely loved the step up in distance. He's very highly rated by his stable. There's been positive talk from his jockey as well, and of course the winning connections, well, they think they got a really good horse on their hands, and he's done nothing wrong to date, and hopefully he can make it 4 from 4 against this type of field. On what he's shown to date, I'd expect him to be in the red, but he is going to be a banker in our 4 to follow over the weekend. Race 3, horse number 1, Deez. Then we move along to race number 7, and we're sticking with Turfentine, and this is a novice handicap over 1450 meters. And we're going with a horse that I think will be very hard to oppose, called About to Storm, for Johan Janssen van Vieren, and Chase Mogin gets the ride in some very encouraging post-maiden form. And the run that especially catches the eye is his penultimate start, which was in the Secretariat Stakes, a listed race, where he ran a very decent third, only beaten a length and a half by his stable companion, Bon Vivant. Now that form of that run has held up very well. Bon Vivant coming out to win again, and from that form line there's just been one runner, one winner, and during the course of the week a horse called Admire Me coming out to win by 4 lengths. So that form line is looking good. I see he's a blinker strike as well. and he's drawn one, so he'll have the run of the race. And I'm just hoping that the blinkers have the desired effect that they're looking for, because he was slightly slow away last time out. That was over 1400 meters, and hopefully the blinkers can just sharpen him up, get his mind on the job, and help him concentrate a bit more during the running number 2 about to storm. But on what he represents in black and white against this field, I think arguably the strongest form lines in the race and the one to beat. Number 2 about to storm in race number 7, which is over 1450 meters. I then move along to Kenilworth on Saturday, and I think I found a horse that will be priced up at very decent odds. Her name is Young Love. She's trained by Anle Nell, and she'll be partnered by Grant van Niekerk. She's the daughter of Twice Over, and she is one that I kept a really close eye on when she won that maiden, which came at her second start. Now that day, you had to watch the replay to see how she turned on the speed over the final 400 meters from last to first in a matter of strides, and she actually won going away. And after that run, I put her down as one to follow once the stable try her over further. So I was actually surprised that they kept her over 1200 meters last time out, because I think she won that 1200 meters when shedding a maiden tag just on pure ability. Now I say this because if you pull out a pedigree, the dam won 4 times from 1800 to 2000 meters. That's Rosie Tibbs, and she is related to Rosalie Runs, who was also a 3-time winner and also winning her races from 1800 to 2000 meters. So this 1600 meter trip is going to suit her much better than the sprint trip of 1200 meters. And I think in time, the further the better here for number 5, Young Love. Well, I had a look at the field, and yes, there is lots of form to work around, but I think she is the filly with plenty of scope for natural improvement to come. And I'm hoping, as a pedigree would suggest, that she's going to relish the extra distance. So this could be a nice find for Trackside over the weekend. Number 5, Young Love, in race number 7 at Kenilworth, which is a C division handicap for fillies and mares over 1600 meters. And then just the one runner on Sunday at Scottsville, and that comes up in race number 5. It's a maiden plate over 2400 meters, and the horse's name is Madiba's Cuppa. Going to race in the colors that have been carried to victory in the Vodacom Durban July, and most recently the World Sports Betting Sun Met. These are the colors of Ashwin Reynolds, who owns this individual in partnership with Nathan Cotson, Mr. Tobias, Mr. Vissa, and I see the alderman himself, Mr. Rob Haswell. So 5 Madiba's Cuppa is going to be the pick here. Showed huge improvement at his 3rd start. He didn't show much in his first 2 runs, but then last time out made a determined challenge, ran all the way to the line, and only went down just over a length behind Siege of Orleans. I just liked the way he fought that day, and the improvement was obviously there. Against this field, I don't see a problem with him going 2400 meters. That should be no issue. And all he needs to do is just confirm that improvement last time out. With all due respect to the balance of the field, it's not a strong lineup. There's lack of form, there's lack of quality. And if he can just confirm his last start with a similar type of effort, then I think that he's the right horse in the field. When you go to that last start, you know, Madiba's Cuppa and Siege of Orleans had the race all to themselves. And a horse called Park and Fly, was horse number 4 in this field, was somewhere behind. So he does look to have that filly held on that last start. And yeah, I think it all depends on his last start and if he can confirm it. And I'm hoping that there was certainly no fluke from Madiba's Cuppa, and he can get the job done. It's Muzieni and Nathan Cotson that will team up in race number 5, a maiden over 2400 meters at Scottsville on Sunday. So those are going to be the 4 horses to follow And how we're going to be playing those 4 horses? Well, there'll be 2 trebles up on the World Sports Betting menu. Treble number 1 will be Zeus to win into About to Storm to win into Young Love to place at Kenilworth. And then treble number 2 will be Zeus to win into About to Storm to win into Madiba's Kappa on Sunday to win as well. And hopefully we get lucky with both those trebles. And if you want to go for the big money, well, you can play a Yankee as well, or maybe the 4 all to come. Of course, Young Love have gone as a place bet there, but you can go each way and maybe also have a punt on the head at what I suspect will be decent odds there at Kenilworth with the Andre Nel runner called Young Love. And before we say goodbye, well, I want to have a look at the World Sports Betting menu, because I want to catch up with this year's Vodacom Durban July and what's happening with that field. So I'm going to go to my device, go to horse racing, South Africa, and then go to the bottom of that menu, and it says pre-nominations Vodacom Durban July anti-post. And when we click on that, well, here it is. Well, there's definitely some action in the betting, because things have changed from the last time I looked at this. Number 1, Kometirang, the winner of the Vodacom Durban July and the World Sports Betting Met, tops this year's pre-nominations anti-post for the 2022 running of the Vodacom Durban July at 11-2. That's 5.5-10. And then we move along to Linebacker at 7.5-10. And then Double Superlative, who ran an absolute blinder in the World Sports Betting Cape Met, the 3-year-old at 10-1. Safe Passage, well, what a win from him in the World Sports Betting Guineas during the course of the week. He's at 12-1, shortening in the betting market. Hoodsplayed at 18-1, Warrior at 18-1, Sparkling Water at 18-1. Got the Green Light at 18-1, Jet Dark 20-1, and then Do It Again 22-1, Universal Interesting Horse 22-1, Rascallion 22-1, Rain in Holland 22-1, El Mutana at 22-1, and I think it's 25-1 bar the balance. I'm just having a look at horses that are bubbling under in the betting that may catch the eye. Marina is at 33-1. Then we go on to Chansonet, well, that's at 33-1. Moving Aragosta, that's at 35-1 if you're an Aragosta fan. Fire Alley at 35-1. War Athena is blown out to 40-1. I see a horse like Pacaya is at 40-1 as well. And then we move all the way down to the big outsiders in the field. Which is the biggest outsider? The joint outsiders, well, there's a few of them. There are a number of them at 100-1 here. And yeah, I know that a few guys enjoy backing the big horses at the bottom betting boards, but these horses will need to up their game to get a mention in this year's Vodacom Durban July. So yeah, have a look at the betting if you haven't done so yet for the pre-nominations anti-post for the Vodacom Durban July. Maybe your fancy is bubbling under and you could get a decent price anti-post, and you know, it could be a gamble that could be something that could pay off. You may go places on a horse that is not really in the field yet, but you still got a few months before you know these horses can up their game and qualify for Africa's premier horse racing event, the Vodacom Durban July. And that's a wrap of the show, guys. All the best for this weekend. You take care. On behalf of the World Sports Betting team, as always, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially, thanks to you, the valued customer. Until next weekend, you take care. Salani Gashle.